Apparently this is got less recognition, whatever, playtime than I thought. There are very, very few videos on it, like 6 videos on it. Of course, less people were doing videos, and whatever. But in Euros, there were a fair number of people doing it. Anyway, let's get started. Okay. Well, we're going to start here. We work counterclockwise as I always do. We use these light, weird little wooden dice. Because they keep... It's Catan, man. You got to use bone dice for it. And I will just roll the dice for the blue player and get started. So the first thing I get is a 7. A 7. Wow, imagine that. Nobody has any victory point spaces. There's very little reason for me to move the boat, except I can put it where I want to maybe do something. So I'll hold that decision while I keep thinking. I'm allowed to build once or twice, building church or city wall. Okay. City wall gets me... I don't have $7, right? I only have 1 influence card. City wall would get me an influence card. Maybe that's the best I can do? Or do I want to reserve money for other things? Because I'm allowed to put this wherever I like and drop a marker. And this takes 1 or 2 gold at any marker. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop one of my zeros someplace. Probably want to be close to the 6 and 8. They're most likely to happen. I will follow... Maybe you're supposed to put it like this. It looks like it, but that kind of irritates me. Why do I have a 3D piece in that case? I'm going to follow their rules and put this on the 6 space. And I'm going to shift this kind of far out here. Gives me some decent room. Because I'm not going to build once or twice. I don't want to... first of all, I don't have a permit, so I can't. And I don't want to spend on the wall. It would cost me $2 on the wall. You know, I could build this and get influence, additional influence. Is that worth it? So, the question is, do I want to get collect money, or do I want to collect influence more? Wherever I put this ship isn't going to produce, so that's not useful. Nobody has any cubes, so that's not useful. Yeah. I'll build the wall. So I actually have to do that first. And I put a piece of wall down. There's my $2. I get an influence card because of this. I don't know if this is wise or not. Like, I feel like I'm wasting resources by building wall. But it also lets me dig down deeper into my wall, which is of some value as well. I guess. 2 gold for 1 influence card. Is that a deal? I don't know. But here's the biggie. At the end, I can do one of 4 things. It doesn't look like there's 4 different things here. I see 2. I think there's like 4 here. Move your own building permit, upgrade your own building permit, place one on an empty space of your choice. I don't have enough different colors, I have 2 different colors. Or I can play a 1 influence card of each color. Yeah, okay. So, I did want to place a building permit so I don't get the 2 gold, and I don't have enough cards to turn in for 2 gold. Might not have been a great move. Let's see. I spent 2 gold for this, but it does let me dig deeper. I'm going to go with it. Screw up. Oh! What if I put this here? That's on a windmill. Each windmill that I get gets me markers. That seems even worth more. Although I could get built over by the church, which would suck. Just trying to do some thinking. I had placed way out here so I wouldn't be competing on the church thing, but I'd rather... but how likely am I going to keep this if it's built by the church? Hard call. And this is going to produce influence. I'm going to end up with lots of influence. But of course, if I have enough influence, I can start generating gold from it. Yeah, well, do we want to get the jump on this even though we don't get to keep it? That doesn't seem terribly useful to me. I'm not going to get to keep that building, so fuck it, you know. Now, it might get me further ahead enough that I could, you know, eventually that I could block other people from being able to build there or get an advantage, but I'm not sure. That's one of the things. So in Settlers of Catan, there's a very, very, you know, intuitive, hey, I want to build my stuff so I produce, you know, I want to build my villages because it's what I can build. I want to work my way up towards cities. The other stuff like roads, well, I need to build them and I kind of fall into largest road. Armies, I kind of fall into. All these things could be prioritized, but there's not much that you kind of just fall into here. And I think that's part of the... There's a bigger curve to being able to get the game right away. You know, I don't know where to do things. I don't know what to do. I don't have a clear path that I'm building something permanent that I'm claiming territory like I do in Settlers. So it's a harder conversion. But let's go to the next player. And we also roll a 7. Excellent. Is 7 going to be the magic number on these dice? Maybe. I mean, it is the most likely, but still. All right. So let's look at red. Nothing. Everybody's got the same starting hand. The question is how well this matches with other things you pick up. So I can build once or twice. I'm going to choose the opposite direction and not build, because I'm going to say gold is worth more. And I'm going, okay, so this is the thing that produces influence, which has to go, which would be problematic here. I would have to, it's the same size building, so I would have to pay some cards to play that. But this does not. I'm going to put this here where there's some overlap on an 8 and hope to cover both of these. I have to move this, so I couldn't have left it on 6. So taking different strategies across the board, but that means I can't take my 2 gold, and then my extra action. None of them seem terribly valuable, so I'm holding resources more with red. Okay, let's go to yellow. 7's all the way down. Nobody will ever produce anything. How about an 11? Still doesn't produce. Build once or twice. Can't. Well, I could build a ball. 11 is not a great number to get one of my production buildings on. So we're going to build a wall. See, this is the thing. Blue gave up, well, I don't know. I don't know if anybody gives anything up. We're just not sure we terribly want to build anything on 10, 11. So we'll put our disc. Now, let's take a look. 2 cards of the same color. Well, I'm not going to have that. Oh, but I get a card for building. So maybe I have 2 cards of the same color, and that I do. That would allow me to move my disc to somewhere more valuable. If I put it here, I could get built over very easily. If I put it here, it would be somewhat less valuable. If I put it way at the edges, I get more boosts, but again, these are little towns that, little spaces that are easily overbuilt. I think I am going to play both of these, and I guess they get discarded there and will be reshuffled as needed to create a deck, as you would normally do in a game. I can put this wherever the hell I want. Blues kind of put themselves in an annoying position, so I'm going to put myself a little closer there. I played 2 cards of the same color to put my building permit in the row of my choice. I don't have anything I can do with this because of that. The reason I had two things is that I built that wall. Of course, that's eating up my resources, which might be problematic. On to the green player. They get a 9. The first time there's production. Okay, blue and red each get a gold. Oops. Okay. Green still didn't get any production. The 9 is not a terrible row to build on. I don't think I want to build a wall. If I put it here, I could get built over and I get nothing. Same thing could happen with the church. I'm going to put mine here instead of taking gold. I'm not doing a build. I'm putting my thing there, and I am going to hold, doing less than everyone else. Okay, we come back over here, and we see what blue does. And it's kind of exciting figuring it out, you know, as you begin. The problem, of course, is when you figure out wrong and you see that you've wasted, you know, your beginning of the game was maybe poorly chosen. And this goes with Catan too. You know, you build in an area because you think you're going to get good stuff, and you find out that stuff's not really what you need to accomplish what you think. You end up with nothing but villages or something. And you're just behind for the entire game, and you know you're not going to win. And it is not a short game, and I suspect this has that same problem going with it. So that for people who enjoy learning how to play a game, you know, how to play a game kind of well, it's kind of obnoxious. You'd much rather the game be very, very quick for that. Or people would tell you either in the rules or, you know, when they're teaching you the game, how you play it reasonably well, at least, what things you'd want to do. Okay, we get another 7. Okay. Nobody has any victory point spaces, so I can put this wherever the hell I like. Now, here's the thing. I build before I place a building permit, which means I can place a building permit for 0. So I'm going to put a permit here. I think I'm going to move the boat. Oh, yeah, no income comes in because I rolled a 7. So now I can build once or twice. I have 2 gold and a building permit. That lets me build this. I'm going to do that because I think gold is kind of a weak spot. I already have a lot of those, although those are harder to pick up. Permits look harder than gold. Permits also are on 1 row. Very interesting. So we'll spend 1 gold and our building permit to build there. We're not building over something, so we don't have to play any additional cards. Place a building permit in the ship's row or take 2 gold. Well, I don't really have a use for gold right now. So in the ships, do I want to put this here? You know what? I'm going to put this also on 6, and I'm going to drop this guy down here, because that gives me more flexibility, I think. We're not sure. And then I get my special action. I choose not to. Go to the red player. I should just leave the cards face up. I pretend, you know, not look at other people's cards, because flipping them each way is kind of goofy. Red gets a 6. 6 is the same roll as I have. I can move it 1 or 2 in either direction. I don't know. I can't do that without figuring out my entire turn. That's the problem. It's not like just an automatic thing. So when I get a 7 or a 6, I have to make some kind of decision. So now I'm allowed to build once or twice. I have 4 gold. I limited myself to this. I obviously want to get stuff. I'm going to move here, and blue and red get building permits for that. Okay, or not permits, influence cards. I'm going to build my building. This one costs 2 and my permit. Let's leave the permit there so I remember where it is as I go up. To put a bigger gold production there. Now I have pretty good gold production, so to me, I think I want to play this. What's my exception? 2 of the same color. I don't have that. I have 2 of different colors, which doesn't give you anything ever. I'm going to put this up here. And I will not take another action. Yellow. Yellow has very little of anything. Doesn't look like they're in a good place compared to everyone else. I get a 7. Okay, no victory point marker, so there's nothing I can do. The only thing I can do is move this to where I want to control. I wanted to build, I guess, my gold, but I don't have the money for that, and I will not have the money for that, which means I'll be building this on this row. Influence is maybe... Influence looks like it's harder to get to begin with. The workers' huts are only 1 space and they're further out, so that's kind of interesting. Where do I want gold to show up? I'll move this down to 9. Okay. I'm allowed to build once or twice. $1 and a building permit, and I can place this. Now I got kind of a problem. I don't have any bucks left. I could get lucky, but right now I think I'm going to take 2 gold for this, and then I've got nothing there. On to green. Green gets a 7. No production. I don't... So this happens in Catan, in Settlers, where if 7 is the number the dice want to roll all the time, and they tend to want to roll one number a lot more than they should, and it feels like I'm getting too many 7s, although 7s are very common. If that number is 7, which it is not with my Settlers games that I've played, it's usually like 10 and 11 it really likes to roll, or something like that. It likes to roll some really obscenely unlikely number a lot. The wonders of little wooden dice. Okay, so green is not going to get anything for this, but I have enough to build my gold production or my permit. I think I'd rather build the permitting, to tell you the truth. I'm allowed to build two things, which could mean I build a wall. What if I build a wall? If I build a wall, I get another one of these. Do I want to build a permit? I have lots of money, but I won't have lots of money after I build a permitting place. I don't know. This thing could be here. Could put it here. Okay. So I think we're going to go to 5. We're allowed to build a building. We spend 1 and take our 0 permit back. The 0 permit's so awesome. I thought it was useless. Okay. And now I could build a building permit somewhere. And I think I want this one. That's going to really crowd my cash in one place. I don't like that. Maybe I don't want 6. What was it at? I don't know. Who went last? Last was yellow. They did not build a permit, so I don't know if they cared where it was. I don't know what it landed on. I can't remember. I've moved this. I've made my choice. I don't like my choice. This is why you have to think everything through beforehand. Because see, my choice means I'm going to be putting my gold producer here, and now I've got double gold on one thing. That is not, over the long run it evens out, but I want enough money to build what I want to build right now, not what I want to build later. So what I want to do is I want to put this on one of these two. One of them's available. I don't know which one. I'm going to say I rolled an 8 before. I don't know the answer to that. I just don't know. So that goes there. Hey, red is over here. I forgot to move this forward. How about that? Building permit on the ship's row or take 2 gold. I built my building permit. Of course, this is going to give me permits and gold, or here, which is even better if I build it. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I guess I passed the dice, huh? I paid. I have some gold. I can't really do anything with any of it. I could build a wall and get more permit, but I want to get this built first. I think building a wall is really iffy because you get no production. You get a influence card at the time you build it. You basically turn. Hey, another 7. How excellent. Okay. Blue has 3 cards. What does that do me? Well, that's only one thing, I think, which is placing a bonus building permit in your row of your choice or take 2 gold. But that doesn't sound right. I think there were multiple things that went with 2 cards. So now we look at the rules because something seems wrong. 2 matching influence, 2 influence cards of the same color. 1 influence card of each color allows you to put a building permit anywhere you like. 1 influence card of the same color allows you to take 2 gold. Ah, that is actually specified here. So the 4 options are folded in, and I'm out of battery. Even with the magic of 4 batteries running, I got this and this charging. This is the one I just pulled out. I'm still not able to video through and not lose power. Now, at one point, I used to play with this with the cord attached. At times, it was kind of painful, but with an extension cord or whatever, it worked. Problem was, it put too much pull on the camera's energy supply, and eventually that camera stopped being able to charge at all directly. So we don't have that option. All right, what are we doing? I think we rolled a 7. We haven't decided what we're doing yet. We have a build, which costs 2. We don't have 2, so we're fucked. Okay. We were hoping to get some income, but nobody can roll anything but 7s. Which means we're not going to be able to build anything. 2 cards of the same color, and you can place the building permit on the row of your choice. Now, I have the row of my choice, anything except 5. Now, 5 may be the row that I want to be on. Green has one of these, so they'd be going this way, so I could put it on 8, but it would cost me my buck to build there. Now, what are the costs of varying things? They're fairly high, so I'm going to hold off and not build, or not place a permit either. I'm going to take 2 gold. But I get to pick where I put this. I will put this, I want to put it where I gain nothing. This is where I'd love to put it, but I'll throw it down here, because a lot of the other numbers get me something. But not a 5. 5 is the one that I would have most liked to have put it on. And I have one of each, which means now that I have money, I could drop a building permit, like a 1-point permit, by throwing these 3 influence cards. I'm not going to have the money to build 2 things, so I don't think I want to do that. And I also don't think I want to throw 3 influence cards to get 2 gold. I feel like I'm best off not taking any special action, even though I think this is the first player who has had a chance to do so. Okay. On to red. Hey, a 9. She just put the dice instead of a bone. Okay, the 9 moves automatically. That means money is produced. Blue and red each get a gold. And green gets an influence card. And somehow or another, unflipped green. Okay. Again, those aren't visible to everyone. That's just... All right, now I'm allowed to build once or twice. Well, I only have 1 permit. I have a lot of money. My permit for $1, I'm going to do it, says I'll build out here. Now I got both my permits on the same damn space. 2 more bucks, I could build myself another wall. My wall doesn't give me much. So, what am I looking to build, if anything? Well, these guys produce money. These guys produce... The fuck are these? Why do these only produce victory points? They're like a market stall. They're expensive. So the next thing I'd probably want to build is one of these, which is going to cost me $3. They're kind of big, so they're kind of hard to build over. I don't really want them... Now, what does it cost to build over? 3 cards of the same color. I'm nowhere near that. Doesn't take permits to build church, but it takes a lot of money. So part of me says, hey, you know, I'd want to build on one of these things so that I get all kind of points over there that probably nobody is going to take. But again, I think this may have been a mistake. The church might run it over. I think what I'm going to do Build over green. Who's doing well? It would be nice to pick on somebody who's doing well. I'm pretty sure green's not doing all that well. Looks like blue is probably doing the best, but I don't know. What did I get on the boat? I got a 9. I have to go with that. Okay, so I don't have a lot of choice. So I could build something back here. That'd be interesting. These things need 2 permits. So I'd need a buck to build the permitting for one of them. Ugh. That's kind of icky. Like, so that I could take over one of these permits. Let's spend a buck and put a permit here. What does blue have left? Blue has this left. Oh, I can't put it there. I don't have that option. Okay. Let's put it up here. Because that maximizes my resources. So I'm done. Over to yellow. It feels like there's a lot more thinking, again, because of the lack of intuitive aspects to this. I'm not sure, like, this is a harder game to play, I think, certainly right at the beginning, than the original Settlers is. I was kind of hoping, and I think that's probably where I ended up disliking it, is that it requires more thinking and more puzzling about than I'm in the mood for when I sit down to play a Euro, you know? My view of Euros is things that are so clean that, yeah, I might make a bad decision, but I can make it easily. Okay, we got a 5. We're stuck with that. That produces yellow and green get money. And that is it. I can build once or twice. Yellow has no permits on the board, which means I could build a wall. It sounds like an idea because I don't have any influence cards. I'm not absolutely thrilled with it. Since blue and red built their walls over here, I'm going to build one here. I get an influence card. Okay, great. It's a color. And now I can put my 0. And I'm looking at building up and down. I'm going to place my piece here in line. There's nothing else I can do. And I feel like I'm about a turn behind with yellow somehow. Why? I don't know. Is it because I reserved resources? No, I built a wall, didn't I? Yeah, I built a wall. Give me this. I'll put this down here. Makes it easier to collect them at the end of the game. That's the only factor. The 4-point walls look like a stupid idea. Although, you might want to hold them for your victory point markers. Okay. But, yeah. So, I'm on green. Green rolls an 8. Have to stick with the roll. That creates 2 gold for red. 1 gold for blue, and an influence for yellow. Okay, green's allowed to build. They clearly want to build, even though nothing is getting built anywhere. So I'll spend my 2 bucks. And build this. 2 different colors, that's not very helpful. I have my 0 marker I could put on the board. These are dangerous. If I pay a buck, I just block red from using my space. That's not terribly useful. Once this is placed, it's an expense to move. Do I want to spend money for a real production area here that isn't going to last because people are going to build a fucking church over it. I think not. I think my die roll sucks, and I think I will do no permit, which means I get money. Is there someone else who skipped a permit for money? I thought he did. I don't know. Okay, we'll go one more time around, and then I'm going to probably pause or something. Only so much of this I can take. We're going to call that a 3, which produces nothing. I could build. Okay. Kind of interesting thing, maybe zeros aren't worth anything. Because if you look at, if you build over a space, where's the limitation here? You may use permits that belong to other players. The player who has the highest total value of building permits in a given area has the right to build there. Okay, so if we work the way numbers normally work, right, that highest is, they're the only person with the highest. So I guess 0 maybe means something that means more than nothing, right? So if I have a 0 over these two spaces, I have more than anyone else, okay? Because otherwise, everyone has a 0, and that's no good. Maybe that's what they fucking mean. Again, it's not clear. Like, the ambiguity in the wording is so bad. I'm just assuming that if I'm the only person with a permit, that I have the most points there, even if my points are 0. But if two people have 0 points in a space, neither one has the majority. Well, it's not even majority. Neither one has the largest number of points. So it's like, but if you say the sole largest number of points, it kind of makes sense, because the point is nobody else even has 0 because they don't have a permit there. Like, but that kind of stuff needs to be spelled out. Anyway, where the fuck am I? This is how I would deal with it, because if you get a permit, I mean, what does it mean to have a 0 permit? What does any of this mean, though? Okay, I can build once or twice. I have this. I want to build it. So I pay my 2 gold, and I put this down. Let me finish the turn, and then I'll try to talk about some thoughts I have that are outside of that. I could build more stuff, but I don't know if that's terribly worth it. I could put a building permit in this row. I could put something kind of big there, and it's not that bad. It would be on the 3 and 4. Now, this monster is great, except he doesn't do you any good. He just gives you exposure to victory point cubes. I can get more influence. 3 different colors allows me to put more permits down. I'm having enough trouble putting a permit down anyway. I don't know if I want to put my 0 down to get myself, well, you know, this isn't that bad. It only produces $1. So sure. We'll put our 0 here. That gives us the most options. We're not going to play the 3 different cards to do anything special. We're not going to sweep our cards aside. Let's put the dice here and try to think of what I was going to say, because now I've forgotten it. So here's the problem, or a problem. Whatever I wanted to say has been lost by the complexity of the thinking in the game, and finishing my turn, I would have gotten... my thinking would have been disrupted if I had gone into whatever point that I had. The point, oh, okay, I know what the point that I had was. So, in Catan, in Settlers of Catan, as opposed to this is Catan something or other, but it's not really. In Catan, you pick a location at the beginning of the game. It could be a stupid location and you could be fucked, okay? Or get lucky because the dice happen to really like to roll 10s, whatever. And of course, you know what number your set likes to roll if you play it any decent amount of times. Once you kind of pick your starting location, other things flow from that. You're like, I need rocks, so I need to go here, right? I kind of want to drive towards the center of the board and stuff like that. There's this sort of much more, the map is much more a geography that you have to deal with and that you can imagine shit happening on. Here, it doesn't feel that way. So, although there's some sort of being semi-forced into, hey, I had to put my permit here. Well, all this shit's getting so crowded that it's hard to slap my permit down. And the cost for overrunning someone is 3 cards of the same color. Nobody's anywhere near that, right? Everybody's got different colored cards right now. So the idea of like being able to build over the same size building, but the same size isn't the only option. What if instead I put this here, which is what I'm going to do. Now I can build over this building. And boy, that's dicky. Now, is that wise? No. So I'll move down here. I can build over it there, because I will be building a bigger building. This feels a little bit Tigris and Euphrates-like. This kind of how important it is geometrically to place things and whatnot. I loved Tigris and Euphrates when I played it. I haven't played it in a long time. I think I could grow to like this in the same sort of way, but it's not there yet, just isn't. Now, another option would be I can put it here where I'm going to get a couple of those, and a 4 space is kind of hard to take out, especially since a 6 would, be running up against possible threats there. Is that more important than beating up on red? I think red's doing very well. But maybe I want to chase them here. Let's do that. Just so many different options to play in with this. Whereas in Catan, you don't have that many real options. You might have a place where you get to fork a road one way or another, and it's an important choice. But it's an important choice that kind of makes sense. Like, I need clay more than I need rocks. Here it's like, yeah, the clay rocks decision is which thing you're going to build there, not which way you're going to go. And which way you're going to go is based on, well, do I want to fuck this over and build over it, which I can do for free, I don't need any cards to do, I'm a bigger building, or do I want to build over here and get a couple of these windmills? And they're both valid choices, and I can't evaluate between them. I have no standard. They seem both so abstract to me. Anyway, like I said, I'll finish this round and then swap and then take a break. Okay, a 6. Stuck with it. Red gets a gold. Yellow gets a gold. Green gets a gold. Blue gets a gold. And blue gets one of these. Yeah, blue's doing pretty well, though. Okay. This is kind of interesting because this is where I want to be, but I could opt into this. I could opt up here. I got all kind of choices that I can make. Of course, I might have wanted to be here. Well, I can't be there. But if I was here, I could build over this shit and drive that out of the radius. And again, maybe an interesting choice, especially if I'm, I don't know. Anyway, red could build. Red could build. They've placed here. Why did they place that? Why not their 0? I guess they had their 0 already on the board. Huh. Oh no. I don't know why. Is it because I'm going to build over something? It's because I'm a dick? I don't know. Okay. I honestly just don't know. All right. I could build one of these two. I'm already getting money here. I'm having a hard time getting these things. So, oh wait. No, I placed here because there was a 0 here, but there's not anymore. And this takes two thingamabobbers. Fuck me. So, the only way I can move this is to play 3 cards of the same color, which I don't have, and 3 of different colors to play that. I would like to build here, but I don't have enough building permits anymore because green went before me, and I should have seen they would go before me and I'd get fucked, and I shouldn't have spent the extra buck on that. Buck! And now my 1's over here, when maybe I want it here, which would cost me 2 cards of 1 color. Fucking hell. So I spend my 2 gold to put it here, and I'm going to blast into everybody. Do I want to build once or twice? Yeah, so so here's the question. Do I want to spend that? I have 4 gold. I could build something else. But the only something else that I can build, the only thing that takes 1 building permit are these 2. I could build that thing. I don't have 5 gold. 5 gold is the cost for something big. I don't have enough permits. I might be able to get a 2nd permit here. Do I want to put my 0 somewhere? Sure. Of course, my 0 permit causes problems. So if I put my permit here, there's a danger of someone being able to build something huge all over this shit. Like by just buying a 1 permit. But I don't want to spend money. Oh, I can't build it there. I could put it here. Do I want to? Do I not? What's the cost for moving the permit? 2 cards of the same color. Is there anything I want to build? Do I want to build a wall? Do I want to play this game? I don't know. An influence card. Build the wall first. That would give me an influence card. That might help me get a permit where I want it. I'm going to build a wall because why the hell not? And we're going to build it on this side. And now we have 2 green. I believe that would allow me to build over the same space if I had enough money. Now I only have 2 bucks. So I'm going to pass on placing a building permit and grab these. 3 different cards of different kinds. I could place a bonus building permit. No, I don't have 3 different colors. Okay. Next player. Each decision is just like a nightmare, though. Like it just feels. It feels like there's just too many options. It feels heavier in that way than Tigris and Euphrates does. With this added luck to it. We get a 9. Blue gets 1. Red gets 1. Green gets 1. And a influence. Okay. And poor yellow. And it's definitely a rich get richer game, but there's possibilities to blast into people in a way that there aren't as many in normal settlers. So what's yellow up to? Yellow can build here. I only have one permit, and it would not be a bigger building. But that's okay, because I have 2 gold. So I will build and increase my production. Nobody's been too violent yet. People have thought about it, but nobody's managed it. Now all my gold is on the 5 and 6 row, which seems problematic. Which means I probably... So if I get lucky and people roll 5s and 6s, I'm going to get a lot of money. So I'm probably okay putting a building permit down. What do I want for a permit? Yeah, that's a good question. I could have a whole shitload of money and get something here. With a well or something like that, I would be able to place pretty easily. I could build over people. I'm in danger of the church there. There's definitely that problem. Or I could take 2 gold. And I think my building permit options are so shitty that I want to play 2 gold, because it takes me 3 different cards to drop a permit anywhere. On to green. Green gets an 8. Yeah, the numbers are beginning to distribute a little bit better. A little bit more randomly. This is red. Red's going to get $2, so we'll give that buck to blue. Well, that's in my hand. And now green's going to get $1 for this space. And yellow gets another card. Of course, influence can turn you into money, right? No? 3 different can get you money. I don't know. There's a certain amount of compacting. I'm on green. Green can build. Green has no permits. I have shitloads of money, though. That's an interesting position to be in. I have all my pieces built. I'm a little worried about red here. Being able to build over me. I could put permanent here, but that kind of only makes it easier. Like to build bigger buildings. Like the fact that I used my permit before was a big deal. I have 6 gold. If I had 1 more gold, I would go for the church. I'll build a wall. Let's see what happens. Okay, we've got 1 of each color now. I could bone these and put a building permit in any row of my choice. The problem is, see, the permit choices are not good right now. But I have a whole lot of money. It takes 2 permits, though, to build what I'd want to build. So if I spend a gold, I can put a 1-point permit over here and start a war with blue and everyone else, really, in a way. Is that the space I wanted in? I think so. All right. I'm going to move the dice over here to remind me who goes next. Did he want to do something? Oh, I had to spend something to do that. I have to spend 2 of these. Okay. I don't remember what I wanted to say. All right. I need to... My batteries are getting problematic. Always the problem coming back to these Euros. And it doesn't happen with the 18XX or other non-war games that, you know, have sort of a real narrative that I can see developing. Sure, I can see, hey, there's buildings showing up and stuff, but it's very hard to link to anything. Is that I lose the entire train But anyway, I know what I have to do. I have to roll the dice. That's the one rule. Okay, we got another bonus 7. Great. That means we have to think. That sucks. We're going to get to build. Now we have a 0 here. Here's the thing. Whatever I build here, I have to be aware of this. Now this is why green putting its thing here for 1 was kind of a stupid move. But if I put a 0 there, all I'd be doing is maybe blocking blue. As it stands, however, blue can't build here, but I can build all the way over here. Those aren't optimal spaces. Building something like this might work if I had $5 and there was another thing. But the real question is, do I want to spend $3 on one of these suckers? Well, I think so because I'm set up to do it. It's kind of like, in Settlers of Catan. I mean, it's the only thing I can really think of in it is in Settlers of Catan. You want to move forward and keep doing stuff. Sure, I might not get much on a 2 or a 3, but maybe I'm not that interested in getting much. I have $6, which isn't enough to buy a church piece. That would be another option. Am I in danger from that green piece? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. But I could be. So, here's the thing. I don't want to look at the green cards, but 2 cards of the same color, 3 cards of the same color, and green could build over blue if they build a big thing there. Of course, they'd need another permit first. So, at least there's that. So I'll spend my $3. What kind of thing do I want? Me want thing. Oh, I got to decide on where I'm going to place this damn thing. Because that'll influence where my permit goes next. So, my next permit... I could try to grab more windmills. It's kind of safe being way over here. That's the nice part of it. I could grab way more windmills over someplace like this. Or, nobody has any victory point cubes yet. I'm going to get the first one. That means I'm going to be a target for shit. Oh, that'll suck. Especially with all these 7s coming up. I can also build a wall if I so desire. I could build one of these things, but I don't see a point to that. Oh, no, I can't build one of these big guys because I don't have 2 permits. So all I could build is this, which green could build over fairly easily. So I guess I'm not going to build that, because that seems stupid. What about a building permit? Where would I want to put one? I probably want to put it kind of where I am. Okay, so let's say I'm going to put a $2 one in. Let's just say. Let's say. That leaves me a lot of money. Okay. I'll move the boat here. I have a lot of money there might be 3 permits and $5. So I am not going to build anything. I'm going to pay $2 to put a permit here and set me up maybe to build this big sucker way back here. Now there's some danger with the church in that case, but whatever. And I'll hold everything else off. You know, it's all about trying to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to be doing, which kind of, I don't like doing. That's not my purpose for playing games. I want to see what different, I don't mind little minor changes, but trying to understand the whole game, I don't know. It's just not my thing. Okay, so red gets 1 gold. I got quite a pile growing there. Yellow gets 2. Green and blue each get a gold. We're beginning to see some real income showing up. That's the saving grace to this, because otherwise the game wouldn't end if it stayed at the same kind of money. And blue gets a card. Now I have 3 of a kind, which is of some importance. Okay. So first thing I'm allowed to do is build. I'm way up here. I don't have enough permits to build anything legitimate except this and this. Now, I cannot build over without 3 of the same color, so that's not allowed. I could drop another permit, but it can't go here unless I pay 2 of the same color, which I have. That would put me in a position to grab some of this territory. Interesting. I'm going to spend $7 on a church piece. Now I have this special bonus of being able to look at 2 of these. So one of them is this right corner here, so the church would take up this space. That would hurt me. Don't want that. The other one is a little bit more attractive. It would hit my worker's hut here, but this is the one I'm going to play. That's this piece, so the church is going to be built here. This goes underneath. I know what it is. I don't really care. It doesn't matter anymore. I get a cube. It's in a dangerous location where I'm going to probably be discarding cards fairly regularly. I have a buck I could build with. That's not going to help me. I can drop a building permit in the ship's row. I want it somewhere up here. However, if I toss 2 cards, I can put it up here. It's going to take me a while, probably, to collect the money for that, but okay. And no extra action. Go over to yellow. And we're kind of getting into the meat of the game now. This is where people are able to challenge each other. That's something. You have a little bit of player interaction in Settlers of Catan, but I feel like here you have so much violation and everything. It feels, again, it feels kind of like a Tigris and Euphrates type game, which I should love, right? I don't know if I mean, if I pulled out Tigris and Euphrates and played it now, I don't know if I would like it. I don't know if I'm in the mood for it. So 7, I get to pick what I hit. Well, screw you, man. Let's go here. Nothing terrible about that. It may not be where I want to put my yellow thing, but I want to hit red. He's in the lead. So odd, even. Now I have no wall towers, so this one's going to get discarded. And there'd be a pile of these that are discarded together, and then they're revealed, afterward. But I want to hit somebody. Build once or twice. Yellow has nothing on the board. I could build me a wall, and I could place a permit. Well, I'm not going to place it there. So I'm going to take 2 gold for that, which means, yeah, I'll build a wall. So the 2 gold that I'm going to take, I'm just going to put aside, put this here, and get a cube on that. If I had had that already, I would have gotten that card. That's kind of cool. I can actually build another wall and get a card back. Since I didn't build a permit, do I want to? Do I not? I could still build a permit anywhere I like with this as my extra action, which is, strangely enough, the same cost that I would get to drop the permit anywhere. Is there somewhere that I'd like to permit? I have all my buildings. Wow, I'm actually not doing that badly. I have all my personal buildings. I can put some cash down and threaten this. Really kind of whack into red. Feel like green and blue are in a fight. I just hit red. Red and I could be in a fight. I took the gold. I did my build. I could spend $2 to put this here. I'm going to put it here. I think that's a little better. And I have to get rid of 2 of these in order to do that. Okay. Puts me to green. Green rolls a 3. 3 is out in the middle of nowhere, but it's close to blue. Okay. So I could build here, and that would get rid of all those permits, which are somewhat problematic. There's 2 permits available. I can build over this blue building, or the yellow building, for that matter. Can't probably build over both. I have $4. That's $3, which can go for that thing. What do I need? Money or... Do I need money or do I need other bachinkins? Well, I'm green. This and this, 9 and 10. Money is at 8, 6, and 5. I'm going to say that I need cards more than I need money. So I'm going to grab this. That costs $3, 2 permits. I build over the blue space. That goes here. The blue had a 0. That means I'm not going to have to pay anything. And I get my first cube on the board. And now again, you know, the fighting with the permits, I don't have the hang of it yet. And that's part of what actually excited me with trying to play Tigris and Euphrates. Is I was playing that with other people. The competitive aspect of making these decisions was more fun. I know normally I say that I learn to like games, or I learn more about games when I'm playing them solo. With this kind of thing, I'm not so sure that's the case. I do remember that I was really frustrated playing this 2-player, though. It didn't feel that way when I was playing Tigris and Euphrates. But maybe, you know, maybe my wife was just wiping my face in the game. That would not be impossible. Although I beat her in Tigris and Euphrates, damn it. Okay, so I did my build. I could do more build, but I don't have enough money. I can place a building permit on this row, or I could take more cash. A 0-point building permit. Oh, blue gets to rebuild. And I believe this happens immediately. Is this a rules detail? Yeah. If one of you may immediately place on any empty space of your choice. Well, these are not empty. 6 and 8 seem the most appealing, but these are all in church zone. I can move it again out of church zone. If I put it somewhere like here, it's just as likely to get built over as anywhere else, and I don't think anybody can squeeze in there easily. There's this, that could squeeze in there, but that doesn't produce anything. It just exposes you with a victory point in the nice numbers. So I'm going to place it here with the thought that, yeah, that's fine. Maybe I'll get some cards off of it. But since it's an immediate placement, it's no big deal. Now, who are we on? We're on green. Green's building permit. Do they want to place it? Do they not? There are things I can place for one permit, and I'd be over at the edge of the board, that don't seem terribly bad. So I'm going to go way up here. See if I can maybe get one of those. I could take $2 instead. It's hard to tell, you know, which is more valuable. But that's all we're going to do. We go over to blue again. Blue gets a 5. Now, one nice thing is all the randomness means you can't really, it's not like Tigris and Euphrates in the way that you can completely plan everything out. And games with no luck in them at all are often very hard to solo. God knows how I can do it in 1830, or 18XX games in general. All right. We just got this. Yellow gets a buck. Make it 2. I got one here. Green and blue each get a buck. Did I think I threw a buck to green that was supposed to go to yellow. No, yellow gets 1 buck. Green and blue each get 2. That's fine. No, yellow got 2. Green and blue each got 1. Okay. So yeah, I threw a buck to green thinking that it was yellow. So that's that line. Build once or twice. Well, I have a big permit here. Might be my best move to move that. My capability to move a building permit is just 2 cards of the same color, which I have. I could sort of power my way up into this area. I could build. I don't have enough for a church. So I could build here. I have 3 cards of the same color, so I can build over this. But I don't have enough permits to build over that. Now, let's look at the build over rules. Larger buildings can be built over smaller ones, or the same size. I can't build over a bigger building. So I couldn't do something like put this here to bone that. I have to have enough permits to cover everything. That's kind of where the problem is. Now, I could throw a... Oh, this is not church. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't realize that. Well, it means it can probably get eaten. The church ends here. I thought it was going up. Very, very interesting. So red's going to lose this, but it moves as long as there's still pieces. So takes 2 permits to build over this. I have enough cards to do that. What else would I want to build? I could build me some wall. Start digging through the walls, getting to the victory points down there. I think that may be my best option. Get another card. Okay, it's another blue. That doesn't help me build over, but it does help with permits. Now, I could drop a permit somewhere else. I'm going to drop a 0 permit here. Okay, so it's going to cost me 3 cards to build over the same size if I want to build here. That's not necessarily a great place to build. That's the problem. But it does produce income, and it does... See, I'm just worried I'm going to get overbuilt if I go there. Whereas if I play my cards now, but I'd have to get 3 permits to build over this. So, yeah. So I drop my permit in a space. That gets me 2 permits. That's a good move. That means no gold for me. I can throw multiple colors, but I don't want to because I have that 3 cards for a build over. So I pass to red. Red gets a 6. 6 is a different number. Red gets a buck. Yellow gets 2. Let's give it to yellow this time. Blue gets 2 cards. For these 2. And a gold. Wow, they're really launched on that. And green gets a gold. And I already gave yellow theirs. Right. Red has 2 permits. I could build a big building, but I have no fucking money. Where's my money? Which means I don't want to build a fucking wall. I basically am not getting good rolls on anything. I spent all my money on the church. That's why I have no money. And so everybody but blue has 1 cube on the board. I can place a building permit or take gold. I'm going to take gold because I have no money, or I have not enough money, and I'd have to spend an expensive permit to play up there. And I got to worry about yellow though. And that's one of the things. Even if you understand, so I don't feel like I understand all the mechanisms in terms of, hey, is it safe for me to play here or not? But even if I had all that knowledge, you still don't know enough to know if it's safe because there's a luck factor in the game. There's a luck factor, and that helps shake things up and makes it a little bit more interesting. So on to yellow, because someone may not be getting the resources that they need. Down to 9. Blue gets a gold. Red gets a gold. I think I'm actually enjoying this more solitaire. Maybe because I sucked really bad at it. Yeah, I actually, my wife would beat me up in games, in these kind of games. I don't know why. In some of them, not in all of them. But this one probably was too abstract for me. So yellow. Yellow can build. Okay. So yellow has the majority of points. Red fucked up, man. Yellow has the majority of points in a 3 token zone. So here the question is, do I want to bone green? Sure, why not? But how badly? So I can build something that produces, or something that's worth a lot of victory points and is very hard to dislodge, that could sit over this entire span. Getting another victory point is okay, I guess, but it doesn't feel like it's the right time to do that. So let me look at my money. My money's all on this column. Wait, let me see. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Yellow. Huh. So it feels like I don't have enough card draw compared to money. So I think I'm going to go with that. So I'll go with this again. And that'll cost me $3. Oh. I have to put that here. If I had built the bigger one for $5, it would cover all of this. I'm using a red one, so I have to give red a buck. I threw it over there. I know I'm not good at showing that. My own $2-bucker and this go away. This disappears, and this building shows up there. This is a green building, so green gets it back. They may rebuild it. You're never denied all your capacity. Your capacity to produce doesn't go away until you start losing your huts. I'm allowed a building permit. I have a bonus 0 back. Or I could take money. I don't know if a 0 does me a hell of a lot here. I could certainly build on something like this, or start working on this. Church goes down though, so I'd want to keep it on this layer. Let's play it. It's worth shipping points. Those seem like a good idea. I got nothing else to do. Puts me on green. Green gets a magic 7, which sucks. All right. First of all, I could hit, there's 3 people who have cubes on the board. Yellow, that's outside the realm. Let me make sure how this is worded. If you do not, when you roll a 7 on the row of your choice, there's no income generated. Each player must discard, each player, including the player who moved the ship, must discard either an influence or gold card for each of his victory cubes in that row. It doesn't say on a building in that row, so I think on the walls of that row count. Okay, which means I'm going to hit red. Red has to discard a gold. Well, they discard a card. This is green's turn. I don't know if green really wants the ship there, but they really don't want it here. You know, I may not care enough about red. I don't have a tower, so I'm not getting this money. I kind of want to build elsewhere. So what if I build... Wow. What if I build more green towers where I'm going to go? What if I drop this? I can't put this here or it'll hurt me. So I can put it here and try to build on here, or I can put it way down here and try to get me some windmills. I think I'll put it there. I'll spend a buck so I can play my 1. I'm going to put my 1 down here. No, that's too dangerous. I'll put it here. That's getting me a lot of power in that little area. And I did not want to build. No, I did want to build. Fuck me. What did I do? I spent a buck to put that. I don't want to put that. I may not want to put this here, because I just got this back, so I can drop this there for nothing. So yeah, I'm going to hit red. I'll hit red for their buck. I don't get it because I don't have a tower. Oh, I really don't get it. Now it's time to build. I'm going to build my building here over my 0. That allows me to get my 0 back. I get 2 windmills, which puts me up. Remember, they go away if you lose them, though. And that's very easy to schwack. Of course, it's not possible to schwack things once the city's dense enough. You can't build over it because there's no place to put your permits. Now I have a permit. Well, now I spend a buck to sleaze into here where I have this kind of control. Now, again, you have some capability to manipulate things, but this is just a good place to land. You can't control where your permits are going to go without spending resources, and spending resources is expensive. So quite often, you'll just go where, you end up being driven to. I do not want to play any more cards. I'm going to need to swap batteries. I'm beginning to think that I lied. When I played Tigris and Euphrates, certainly the first time was opposed. I think it kind of blew my mind. I was sitting there playing it, you know, multiplayer, probably 4-player, and I really, really liked it. Like, in the sense of, I saw something that I didn't understand and enjoyed the not understanding part of it, okay? And then I think I borrowed it and played it solo. And then eventually picked it up and got it. But I think it, like some others, UP comes to mind too, as kind of like that, in a different sort of way. The fact that, like, it puzzled me the first time I played it meant I had to play it solo. And I'm not saying I'm good at it or anything like that, right? I'm sure there, you know, I don't play it very much to begin with. Like once every 5 years now. I don't know. At most. But there's something that I really liked about the thinking involved in it when I saw it. I think playing this with my wife was a different kind of circumstance. First of all, I think this is a heavier, like, it doesn't blow your mind right away. It's more, both games give you this kind of, well, what the fuck am I going to do? What am I supposed to do? But I think I found it more frustrating in 2 for the first time playing than I would in the multiple players. And then I'm kind of being drawn into this, you know, in the same way as Tigris and Euphrates. I'm kind of being drawn into the, oh, what do I have to do to engineer the things that I want to do? First thoughts don't work and everything, right? And there does seem, at least with a lot of people who don't know what they're doing, like all of me, there does seem to be enough room that even if you kind of fuck up, perhaps because of players being able to schwack one another, you can actually generate some interesting circumstances. Here's another thing. Tigris and Euphrates in 2 is an exceedingly, like, it's a game that's just, you know, it's like playing chess or something, right? It's just a pure strategy. It's not something you'd want to solo, and I don't know that you'd want to play it opposed like that for the first time, especially against someone who kind of knows what they're doing. And I feel like this kind of has some of that same flavor in it of, yeah, you know, if one person kind of gets it and the other doesn't, it's just going to be horrible, right? And I don't get things without kind of dissecting them as I go. I need to relight my pipe. I thought I had it lit enough and I didn't. And then we'll get to another round around. At some point I got to load this up, but I don't know. This camera, now that I have my SD card in, this camera has huge amounts of memory. So blue's gotten themselves set up down here in a way that they can hit green. Green couldn't react because of their die roll and the cards that they hold, the influence cards that they hold. Keeping a nice stock of influence cards. Remember that was in the player hints? Yeah, well, blue's got a nice stock. No one else has basically any. I mean, green's the next person with one of each, which is a powerful option. It does give you putting a permit in the row of your choice. Okay, a 10. Can't change that. And yellow and green. Oh, who the fuck built this? Son of a bitch. Somebody gets a cube on there, and I think it's green. Okay, so yellow gets 1, green gets 2. And now they're starting to collect up cards. Okay. What does blue want to do? Well, if I have a pile of money, and I do, I could pump it up. All right, so if this was a pirate here, it wouldn't hit green from what I understand, because it has to be in the actual row, and that's the reason for these spacings here. Again, it's not explicit in the game, or it's not explicit enough that I'm sure of it. Let's just put it that way. All right, I can build for $3, something. I'm drawing a lot of cards. Is there a reason for that? Not really. I'm short on money. Or not terribly short. I feel like I'm drawing a lot of cards. I feel like cards may be more usable. So I too am going to pick cards. I'm going to put it here. I'll put my cube on before I do. That kills my 2 permits. That kills yellow's building. And green loses a cube and a building. And this is the problem. If they played here, well, they weren't able to defend what they needed to build. Where was that? The yellow was here. That means green was here. So I could build here. In fact, I think I have to. That gives me 2 spaces on there. Gives me a cube. I spent my money, I spent my cards. And now I have the option to play a permit there or take more cash. I'm low on cash, but not that low. We're not really at the point where we're racing to get the cubes on the board. Feels more like we're struggling against each other. If I spent $1, I could put a more powerful piece here, but what does that really give me? See, this is a home piece. That's not that important. Where's the church? Church is coming down this way. So that's not really a threat. Sorry, bumped the camera. Yeah, I'm going to pay $1, and I'm going to play a $1-bucker here. And this is kind of the thing. The zeros become kind of iffy. They're like, maybe you're just helping someone else by playing that there, but maybe not, because you get the next shot to go in. Now, I could play 3 cards of my choice and drop another marker in. One of each, 3 cards, different colors, and put another marker in and get kind of a power base down here that might allow me to build one of these, which are harder to replace. Or I could hold my options. I think, again, I'm not close to the game ending, so I think I'm going to hold options. This might not be wise. I can never tell. So on to red. Hard decisions, man. But I'm minding them less and less as I start to get a feel for the game. Puts it on 6. Red gets a gold. Blue gets 2 cards and a gold. You know, I gotta be careful because the order actually might matter. I shouldn't be doing them in the order I'm doing them. Yellow gets a gold, green gets a gold. Mainly it only matters when cards are involved, but now there's enough shit on the board that I ought to be paying attention to order. I can't count on the deck being fully shuffled because there's the reshuffle to happen here. And then there's also the possibility that, hey, nobody is allowed to place. Hey, what happens then? All players have to discard half their cards of that type. Round it down? Round it down. Good. Okay. Who just rolled? I think it was red. Red just rolled. They're allowed to build. Okay. The only place I can build is here. I could spend a whole lot of money for a well. Does not seem wise. I don't have enough to build a town, a church piece. I'm going to put a couple bucks into building a wall because I don't want to waste my turn completely, although saving money is of use too. And now I'm allowed to build one of these markers, but I have to pay to do it because I got my 0 on the board already. The church ends up here, so this may not be a terrible location. There's some danger to all of it, but I can get something into here. That's really my only option. All right, I hold otherwise. On to yellow. By the way, I really like that these are color-coded. Because if all your pieces are on the board or whatever, I don't know, you still got at least one cube left, right? 10. 10 goes here. Green gets 2, yellow gets 1. Yellow would get first draw. Then green gets there too. They're beginning to develop a nice hand here of stuff. Yellow can build. Okay. This is not big enough. Again, I could drop a well there. A lot of good that does me. Does yellow want to build wall? Wall would get me more cards. Yellow doesn't have money. Yellow doesn't want to build anything. Yellow doesn't have money. They've got problems. Instead of a building permit, I'm going to take $2. I feel like just, you know, spending $1 is useless. Spending a 2 here might be worthwhile, but will I get to build anything? Maybe. Yeah, you know what? I think I need to catch up. So instead of taking that $2, I spend $2. I put this here. Now I have the area majority over just about anything that's going on down there. On to green. Don't want to play too cautious. 4. Okay. Red gets 2 cards, blue gets 1. There's enough cards. I'm beginning to regret grabbing a card thing. Hold on. We did not have a pirate. Pirate has to come up on a 7, so the fact that there's a cube here doesn't hurt me, which is good because... Okay. Who are we on? We're on green. Green can build. Green is in a position where they could build a 2 permit place for $3. That seems like a good idea. Green's collecting a lot of cards, so I'm going to take a money. I obviously don't want to bone my own place, so it has to go here. Red's is worth nothing. And blue loses this. Green gets another cube. And blue loses one of their income-producing type spaces. I can place a building permit. Well, sure. I think I like that idea. I don't have any money, so I could take this. Or, like with yellow, or someone, well, like yellow was thinking, I'm going to grab $2 instead. I don't see much use in playing the card yet. At least with money, if you collect it up, you can build the church, you can build walls, you can get points off of that shit, even if you don't have permits. All right, I need a little break. Harping back on the comparison to Tigris and Euphrates, because I really do see something similar here. There's a... so what's so brilliant in Tigris and Euphrates and 18XX games, at least most of them, is there's essentially no luck. All the decisions, all the impacts are contained in the complexity of the twisted pile of decisions. This has much of that, but it is it does have enough luck in it to kind of jumble up your chances. So what I consider so absolutely brilliant about Tigris and Euphrates and 18XX is that all these conglomerate player decisions are able to create a reality where, it may come out in unexpected ways, but it comes up in unexpected ways not because of random chance. This game throws the random chance into it. It's a lot easier to make a game with random chance that works that way. I'm not entirely sure, maybe it would be possible. Again, there is a very Tigris and Euphrates feel to this. All right, on to blue. Blue rolls a 5. 5 exists. All right. Let's get the gold out first. Green, yellow, and blue each get a gold. I'm going to do these cards next because they're more likely to cause a problem, although not anytime in the near future. All right, we've got enough sets that we probably want to start leveraging our cards. Although maybe it's better to look like, to have shitloads of cards, as long as the deck's not running out, and to look like you're not doing that well in terms of points on the board. It's not absolutely clear to me which is going to work better. I got $4. What do I want to build? I don't control this. Now, at my end of turn, I could play a couple of cards to replace one of my building permits and throw some extra money into one of these and gain control of that over yellow. Something to keep in mind, because controlling this might be more important than something else. So I have no building permit options available except building a wall. You know what? A $2 victory point sounds pretty damn good to me. So we're going to put this down. That also gives me some power, potentially with the pirate. Only if you're the person who actually rolled the 7 do you get the bonus from the pirate. And that's the same. Is that the same? Nah. No, it's not. Let's see how this is worded. The fact that it's not the same makes me wonder. When you move the pirate, you may be able to claim a reward. You may draw. Yeah, it appears only the person who moves the pirate gets a possible reward out of it. Okay. Is that the same? Yeah, that's the same. The soldier cards, when you play them, allow you to move the robber at once in Settlers. Okay, so I built. I'm not going to build any more. I can place a building permit or take gold. Now, if I want to dominate down here, I could play another permit, like a $2 permit right here, and then I win the fight here, but yellow would still win this fight. So the only way I can stop yellow from winning that fight is I'm going to take 2 gold. It's not the only way. I don't have to take the 2 gold. I could have played, well, I could play a permit up here somewhere. But I'm going to take the 2 gold because what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 2 cards of the same color. Not sure it matters which color, but I chose blue. I'm blue. And I'm going to spend $2 to raise this up to a 3. I now dominate that area. And that's going to put yellow in a tricky position. Now, luckily, they have colors. They can join in the bidding race, but man, blue's got a lot of cards, even if I don't know that they're all color cards. And I also might know that they've been collecting up a lot of influence cards. On to red. Red gets a 3. That generates a $1 for green. These are so rare. And so, in Settlers of Catan, you would never go out to an area that only hits on the 2 and 3. You might be in an area that only gets a good that you find hard to get on like a 2 or 3, but you're getting other resources off of other locations. Well, you almost never would. Sometimes you're cut off and you have to. Okay. Red has the option to build. I'm sitting here. I don't have a shitload of money. One permit. One permit is enough that I could build over this. I don't know how valuable that is. I don't really want to put a victory point there. I also don't have that kind of money. I do have enough money for a wall. And again, a victory point for $2. You know, once I've developed my walls to this extent, you want to grab them. So there's my build. My permit. I could throw a permit way down here. I think the $2 is worth more at this point. I don't see any kind of synergy I'm getting off of that. And then there's nothing I can do in follow-up actions, which means it's battery change time. Right, to the yellow player. There's no pre-turn decision. That's kind of nice. I hate having to make a decision before I start some mechanical actions that I need to do. Money-wise, blue, yellow, and green each get $1. And now blue gets a card, and only blue. They get to replenish the stuff that they expended. That's cool. That means they probably don't want to play that color again right away because they, I don't know. I don't know what it means. Okay. Yellow. I got outbid. This is a problem. $2 more, I could bring this up to a 4. That would give me control again. I would have to blow 2 of these cards to do that. That means I don't build anything. That means, see, oh shit. All right, this should have gone on the board earlier. But now that I notice it, I can put it on now, but not where the advantage is. I'll put it down here. Okay. That doesn't seem like a bad place for it to be. That's one of the workers' huts. And I think that's a reasonable thing to say, hey, you know, it's got to go somewhere, but... Okay. It's going on the church grounds. But this is where the best numbers are. I mean, I could have put it down here. That wouldn't be too bad either, but not as good. So, I get to buy a building. The only thing I could build with money is a wall. I think I want to continue this fight, although I'm losing it. I know I'm losing it. I have so many less cards, but I really don't think I have an option but to keep fighting. So, and the fact that each of your building permits is a different value, that's so key, right? So I can't, build another 2 here. The limitations are baked in, really, really tightly. I'm going to take $2, but I'm going to spend that and 2 cards and bring this up to a 4. I don't know if this is good because I'm in shitty shape, but maybe I win the fight out against blue. Maybe. Blue can't raise this. Actually, no, I don't want it here. It's got to be here because otherwise they can build below me. Yeah. And I was thinking I could raise this to a 3. I have the extra bucks by the time it's time, but... Okay. That's a 6. Let's get the money out first. Red, green, yellow, blue, green. Blue, red, yellow to green. And blue gets a card. As wealth accumulates. And it's kind of weird because it's really hard to discern what you're good at producing. Because everything is kind of tightly packed. Sure, shit like this, I just discount. But a lot of the buildings are kind of tightly packed. So it's not really clear that you're going to get a lead off of something the way it is in Settlers of Catan, where it's like, oh look, I'm sitting on the 6 and the 8, you know, with these materials. I'm going to get good stuff from them. Here you could say the same, but everybody's kind of sitting on them. So it's just, it's weird. Okay. Green is allowed to build. They have nothing to build except wall. Now, to some extent, building 2-buck walls might be worth it, simply to deny other people from being able to put a victory point marker down. Right now, I have a victory point marker coming, so I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna build a wall. In fact, I'm gonna build 2 walls. It's $4 for 1 victory point. That's not great. But gets me a card. I get to see my card before I put my second choice. Okay, so now all the cheap walls are gone. And now we're at the expensive ones that are built on more solid ground. Maybe it's marshy there, and here it's all nice rocky. I'm allowed to put a building permit down. Do I want to? Is there any reason I want to be in here? Yeah, I think so. So $2, I put a 2 in. That's going to make the red, it beats the red out. I could have put 3 in, gotten more power there, but I don't really want to, do I? The reason having more power there would be valuable is what? Because this is only going to be able to be built here or further up. Yeah, because I'm not, the key thing is I'm not going to be able to build over into here. Like, I'd love to build something in this area and smack a lot of people around, but I'm not going to be able to do that with just 1 permit down there. This is only 2 permits, which is not enough for the big thing there. So I think this is about as good as I can hope for. I don't have to worry too much about red putting there, do I? I do, but putting an extra buck in just doesn't help me. Okay, so I put my permit. Do I have an additional action I want to take? Well, I could throw some cards to get money. I don't think so yet. Could have put my permit somewhere else if I so desired. Again, I don't really think so. All right, that's the end of that. I'm going to load this up because I'm a little worn, and my batteries, one of them wasn't charging in the charger properly. That's not really a big reason for it, but I kind of just want to sit down and not be all hyped up and playing.